Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And I posted the other day. I posted a video where a list of some films I'm going to be reviewing for June, which is the month of my birthday, and my birthday coming up very soon. So, which is on a Tuesday. So, I just want to figure out I want to review a lot of good films that I do enjoy for the month of my birthday. So then I made a little video, show a list of some of the films I want to review for that. But yeah. So getting into the first movie review that I want to do for my birthday month is a film that I really do enjoy. I think it's a really good thriller, and especially a great performance with Kurt Russell. And I love Kurt Russell. He's one of my favorite actors. And this one is the 1990, and also this is 1997, reviewing the 20th anniversary movie review as well, and that is of Breakdown. Breakdown stars Kurt Russell, which I think he did a really great job. I love Kurt Russell. And yeah, for a 20th anniversary movie review, this is another good one that I really do enjoy. It's a really good thriller, and it's also produced by Dino De Laurentiis, and I think Martha De Laurentiis, I think is his wife. Dino De Laurentiis has been done a lot of like thrillers and horror stuff like that. He's no longer with us. And it's also directed by Jonathan Mostow, which he's directed a couple films that I know of. There's one he directed like in the late '80s. One called I've not seen, called Beverly Hills Body Snatchers. I've not seen that, so I can't judge on that one though. But after this, he directed in 2000. He directed U-571 with Matthew McConaughey and Bill Paxton, that submarine movie. And then also in 2003, then he directed the third film, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. And then in 2009, he directed the one with the sci-fi film with Bruce Willis, Surrogates. I think I remember liking the film. I haven't seen that film in quite some time too. So, but and as for Terminator 3, I'm 50-50 on that. But I think, to me, I think this is with this film, I think this is the guy's best film, because I think it's a very simple thriller. It's very, the story is very simple. Kurt Russell, he plays Jeff, Jeff Taylor, and he's with his wife Amy, and they're driving across the country. They're moving to San Diego, and I like the location is shot. You know, through the open the look of the open desert as they're driving. I like the locations where it's shot at, and then they almost get cut off by this truck, in which you see the truck come by again a few seconds later when they're stopping for when they're gassing up, and the guy who's driving the truck is a guy named Earl, who's actually played by a guy named MC Gainey. And he's been in movies as well. Like within this is '97, and within the same year, MC Gainey will play another role in which I'm going to review as well, Con Air. He's the prisoner who drives the prison plane. I think this character's name was Swamp Thing. Yeah, so within the same year, with this film and then that film, he goes and be in that film. But I know the guy. I've seen him in other films as well. MC Gainey. So he's the guy named Earl. Almost cuts him off, and he's talking a little bit of crap with Kurt Russell. And as they drive off again, their car breaks down. Hence the title. And they don't know what's wrong with this. And then there's this big rig truck drive by, and this guy by the name of Red Bar, played by J.T. Walsh. And J.T. Walsh, he's another good actor. He's another guy who's sadly no longer with us. That This is one of the last films that G.G. Walsh did because I think he died in '98, but it's like one of the last films that he I think he did something after this film though, but this is like one of the last ones he did like for theoretical release films. It's too bad he died. I think from a heart attack at the age of 50. Sucks. And J.T. Walsh, I think he played a great villain in this film. He's the guy who stops hard to ask for to help out, and he gives them where to go find a payphone to call for a tow truck, and he gives Kathleen Quinlan, playing Kurt Russell's wife, a lift to the diner where there's a telephone. And after they leave, Kurt Russell, he finds out that someone tampered with there's some cables underneath the car, so he fixes it. Which found out it was that guy MC Gainey who tampered with him because he meant it's like you shouldn't leave you go and it was something like that when don't leave your car alone while at that place. So he fixed it. He drives and he goes to the diner and doesn't see his wife there. He doesn't know where she went. And then when he's driving again, he finds J.T. Walsh again. And it's funny that he's playing like mind games with Kurt Russell, saying that I've never, buddy, I don't know how to tell you this. I've never seen you before in my life. And Kurt Russell's like, what are you doing, Amy? I was like, I want my wife, you son of a bitch. And then the cop comes by, the sheriff, and it's also played by another actor that I recognize, Rex Linn, who plays the sheriff. And he's also been in other films as well. I remember he played one of the FBI agents in Rush Hour. He was one of those, one of the guys in Rush Hour, the FBI agents. And then I also remember him in Cliffhanger as well. But he's been in other films. But I mostly remember him from Cliffhanger and Rush Hour. And tells him to he searches the guy's truck, finds nothing on him. So lets him go, and he tells Kurt Russell to go to the police station to file his wife as missing. And then he goes back to the diner, and then he's talking with the guy like who owns the place. Look at the receipts, and the guy is looking at him like he's crazy, and people are looking at him as well. So he heads back out, and there's another guy the character by the name of Billy, played by Jack Noseworthy, and actually also I think really in the same year. Would star with Kathleen Quinlan, which another film I'm going to look forward to reviewing, in Event Horizon. So they're both the guy who plays Billy here, and then Kathleen Quinlan, who plays Kurt Russell's wife. They both will also star in Event Horizon. And he seems like he's like a little mental problem with the guy, and he's like, oh, they think I'm a dummy, but I ain't. I'm gonna get my trucker's license one day. And he gives information to Kurt Russell to where his wife would be, and as he's driving, he goes to where it is, but it's like he found it's a trap. And MC Gainey, he comes in, he pulls a rifle on him, and Kurt was like, oh my god, and he goes and steps on the gas and crashes through, and he's driving and chasing him. Son of a bitch, what do you want? And then there's like this where there's clearly some construction stuff in there, and Kurt Russell decides to drive his car right into the river, and he gets out and he's going through the river, and the guy has to get his car out, and there's this other guy that's with him, and as he's looking on him, he gets knocked out by the guy Billy, Jack Noseworthy, which he's not really a disabled guy, and he's with the Billy's with the guy Earl. And then, of course, he finds out where he's been kidnapped, and he's talking with J.T. Walsh, who's the head of the group. And J.T. Walsh, he says he's not like all acting all tough and all evil and all that. He's just talking very quietly about the situation. And J.T. Walsh did a really great job as the bad guy. I like J.T. Walsh. He's been in also a lot of films as well. But I also remember him like in Stephen King's Needful Things. I'm like, don't call me Buster. But yeah, and he was also had a little role in the opening of A Narrow Margin, which the guy shot him when an archer was witness to his murder. But he's explained that he wants some money for him to exchange for his wife, and And Caruso quickly says he has like 90,000 because there's like this little. He got the idea that he's like the donut king because there was like the opening of the film where Kathleen Quinlan was talking to him about these donuts with the price, whatever. It's like he has $90,000. So he tells him to go to this small town to the bank, and they know the routine where the cops is going. So he's got this little amount of time before they come back, and so he goes to the bank, and I like the where he's sitting talking with this accountant, and he's like looking around because he's a little bit paranoid because he thinks, or J.T. Walsh says that we'll be watching you, and he's a little bit paranoid that everyone around him is like listening to him or watching him. It looks like one guy right here, and he wants to say something to the guy, but he can't, to the accountant. So I like that he's like being a little. Just look on his face. Kurt Russell does really great, acting all all paranoid and that stuff like that. So he gets like the money and he rides with MC Gainey, ties him up, but he snuck like a little letter opener or something with him to cut the tape off. And as they're driving, MC Gainey was gonna look at some of the money, but he realized all of it was pretty much singles, $1 bills. And he cuts through him and stabs him right here with the letter opener, and then beats him with the gun with the gun he has, and then he ties him up. And even I like the idea where he takes the tape and ties his neck around like the head, like where the seat, where the seat is. You raise the thing up for the head part, ties his neck against that, and he's as he's driving, and then he tells like, "Where's my wife?" And he's like, "Fuck you." He's like, "Oh no, fuck you," and then he hits the brakes and makes the guy choke on himself because he's tied to the thing. He's like kids and like and Kurt Russell, he's like, I bet this baby stops on a fucking dime. And he keeps hitting the brakes again, tells him where his wife is at, and then he gets pulled over by the cop and makes Kurt Russell get down on the ground. But then the guy, MC Gainey, he has like a small gun in his boot, shoots the guy, and he goes down, and Kurt Russell, because he threw the gun away, down like steep hill, and he's about to get shot, but then the cop shoots MC Gainey in the back. And Kurt Russell gets the guy's radio and tells him, get an ambulance or an officer down, this and that, and being the nice guy, and knows that he's not the guy who didn't do this, so he tells the radio assistance for the officer. And then he goes up to this truck stop and he sees J.T. Walsh, but he doesn't see him. So as he's driving away, Kurt Russell gets on which is pretty much that scene right there where my finger is. He's like underneath the truck, and then he tries to go on the sides of the truck, and he gets like in between where the truck is that connects with the trailer, and he rides him all the way to his house where his wife where J.T. Walsh has a wife and a son, and gives his son like a little pocket knife. And so he parks the truck in the barn, and Kurt Russell, he sneaks off where he's on top of like above in the barn is where all the stuff is at, and he pulls out his wife, who appears to be dead, and he's like a little bit upset, but then his wife is still alive because she's shaking, and of course when they're J.T. Walsh explained to his guys that they've been doing this things to other people for some time, for more than some time, like a long time, so they're gonna like lay low for a little bit. And so they put her like this in this ice box down in a where they like another room downstairs, locks it. He can't get through, so he goes into the house, and then he knows when he sees like his son playing. The son is actually playing Doom on the video game, but he holds they're all talking in the kitchen, and Kurt Russell holds him at gunpoint, and I like the line he says, tells J.J. Walsh, he's like, "Don't mister me, you son of a bitch. My wife is locked up in a hole in your fucking barn, and if you don't give me the key, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off." So, and then the kid goes and comes in with a gun, holds him at gunpoint, and tells him, "Kid, you don't want to do this." And he hits the gun, ricochet, and shoots. He hits the gun away from him, but the gunshot goes and hits one of the guys in the shoulder. And the guy, Jack Noseworthy, he goes and runs off. So he's able to I guess also that his wife didn't know anything about what her husband was doing. So he forces him to unlock the door and open the box where his wife is at, and tells everyone to get down in that hole. And JT Walsh, he's like, "You better remember this fella." And then Carlson goes and kicks him in the face, like, "You fuck!" Gives him a good kick in the face. And I wouldn't blame the guy because he goes and takes his wife. He's been searching, wondering where she's been at all this time. So, but Kurt Russell, he just is really great and fantastic. So, but the other guy, he's still out there, so he lets them out. And Kurt Russell, he goes to them where this trailer home is to get the keys to this truck. And then JT Walsh, he gets to his big rig, and just to look at his face, it shows he's been like turned. He's like, the face is like, he's like insane now. Just look in his eyes, and he goes and rams right through the trailer house. I like that. And they get the keys to the truck, and as they're driving, I like this good chase on the highway where JT Walsh is in his big rig, and the two other guys are with them. Jack Noseworthy and this one other guy. They're in their own cars. They're boxing him in, and then they get to the car. The guy, Jack Noseworthy, his car flips over and bursts into flames. And I also like another good shot where the trailer to the big rig, it comes undone. I like how the way it's shot where I don't know why, just how the way it's shot is how it goes on the side, it skids across the road and then flips over, and then the other guy goes right through it and flips over. But just like how the way it's shot when the trailer just goes skidding, it's on its side like this, and then I don't know why, but it was a good car chase, and until it's JT Walsh and he leads them all up to this bridge and rams them, and Kathleen Quinlan, her legs are pinned in, so Kurt Russell gets out and grabs the steering wheel of JT's rig, and it drives the engine. It's hanging off. It's almost off the bridge, but it's hanging on, and they're trying to get onto the top of the vehicle, and Kurt Russell he gives a good couple of punches to JT Walsh and kicks him off, but then gets a chain, hits him a couple times, and Kurt Russell he grabs a chain, and JT Walsh shows his eyes looking, and Kurt Russell's eyes staring back, and he just yanks him off and down to the river. I like that. So it shows his JT's eyes and then Kurt Russell's eyes. Like, you don't screw, give him the old Snake Plissken stare or whatever. Well, except he has one eye though, but still, you don't mess with Snake Plissken. So, but then JT Walsh, he's still alive because he's like moving a little bit. But then Kathleen Quinlan, she hits the gear to the truck and forces the truck off to knock off the bridge, to come off the bridge, I'm saying. And then just the truck falls, flattens JT Walsh like a pancake. Just like, oh man. Just like how it just shows this, boom, just crushes him like a pancake. And it just ends with him on the bridge, and that's it. So it's much shorter. So yeah, it's much shorter view because it's such a simple movie. I don't think there's a film that can get more simple than this. Just Kurt Russell just looking for his wife, and that's basically it. And these bad guys, and especially as a good tagline, it says it could happen to you. You just could, how it could happen to anybody. Out of all the people in the world, the chances are it could happen to you. I really do enjoy this film. It's a really good thriller. Kurt Russell was great. Kathleen Quinlan, she was in the beginning of the film to get the lift until she comes in until at the end of the film when they're bringing her in. But Kathleen Quinlan, I think she did fine because of course she was also in the Hills Have Eyes remake. But Kathleen Quinlan, she did fine. J.T. Walsh, I thought he played a great bad guy. Too bad he's now missed, but he was a great bad guy. Just how playing mind games, saying like how I'd never seen you before in my life, and then tell him to explain the plan. Need your money, get your money, and then after that, when he gets kicked in the face by Kurt Russell driving his rig, and then also you see look in the face, he's like turning utterly completely insane. He's a madman now. He was a great bad guy, and it's like how I like the locations, the shot, how the highway, this desert, and all that, and and it's a good thriller. It's not a full on action film. It's a thriller, but I like the car chase at the end, and like I said, it's thriller as these people are saying on here. It's a thriller. It's not an action film. Maybe because of Kurt Russell, but the thing is, maybe an action film, and it's not. Um, the other actors, the other guys who play the bad guys, like MC Gainey and Jack Noseworthy, and this other guy who plays Al. I'm not too familiar with this guy though, but I like the other guys who play the side bad guys. Rex Linn as the cop. Nice to see him in there. But all the way, yeah, it's a simple story, and it's very fast paced as well. It's just boom and it's over. It's 93 minutes without the end credits though. It's a very fast paced film, and the film did pretty well at the box office. Wasn't that big of a huge. It was number one, but it made 50 million on its like minimum budget of like 36 million. So it was a hit. And it was well received by critics. It's a 6.9 to IMDb. I would give it a much higher rating than that, though. But it does have an 80% Rotten Tomatoes. And 80%, I think it deserves that. I think I'll say it's probably one of my favorite thrillers. Because Kurt Russell doing a type of thriller like this, you don't see that very often. And he pulled it off really well. I enjoy Kurt Russell. I think he was great in the film. J.T. Walsh was a good bad guy. So yeah, more I could say about it. So yeah, for the 20th anniversary movie review of Breakdown, I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. I would highly recommend everyone who's not seen this film check it out. It's a really good thriller. It's not a full on action film because you think Kurt Russell's in this. It's not an action film, but it's a good thriller. And he pulls off a guy who is a husband who's trying to rescue his wife, trying to find and rescue her, and I think Jonathan Mostow did it really great with this film. I think that's what I always say is the guy's best film, and U517 U571. I always get those numbers mixed up. I like because hey, it's Matthew McConaughey and Bill Paxton. I think I remember liking Surrogates, but I have to give it another look. And like I said, Terminator 3, I'm 50-50 on, but I don't think otherwise. And I've not seen Beverly Hills Spy Snatchers though, but I can say it's Jonathan Mostow's best film. I can definitely say that right now. And one more thing, I mentioned the score by Basil Poldoris. I like the score to the film as well. I'm not sure what other music he's done on films. Just want to be sure because I see here. He did a score on the original Red Dawn, Conan the Destroyer, and Barbarian. He did a score to RoboCop, which I enjoy. I love RoboCop. The Hunt for Red October, Quickly Down Under, Hot Shots Pod Duh, Free Willy, On Deadly Ground, Starship Troopers. The last film they did was like back in 2002 when that was called The Touch. Oh, because he passed away in 2006. That's why. That sucks. So yeah, so 2002, the Touch was the last score he did, but he did really good. He did really good with the score. So yeah, so the score in this was good, and also good helping that Dino De Laurentiis helped make a film like this. And it's a type of film that you don't see nowadays, which sucks. But yeah, I really do enjoy this film. It's definitely a great thriller to me. One of my favorites. Kurt Russell, I love Kurt Russell to death. He's one of my all-time favorite actors. Really fantastic. So yeah, this is definitely worth reviewing for a 20th anniversary movie review. So that's my review. Hope you enjoy Breakdown. There's more to come for the month of June, my birthday month. This is a good start right here. So if anyone hasn't seen the film, check it out. That's my 20th anniversary movie review Breakdown. Thanks for watching and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.